Books are challenging and inspirational to me. My favorite things often have a story behind them and are usually handmade or discovered at a flea market. You know, when you watch old movies, it's always the small parts you remember, the character actors who come in like a breath of fresh air. My mom used to say that Greek Easter was later because then you get stuff cheaper. I choose to do unattractive people, because then I can pretend they think they're attractive. I have always wanted a bunny and I'll always have a rabbit the rest of my life. My father and I have a very good relationship. We always got along, but I always scold him. There's humor in everything. There's gotta be humor in everything. I like to decide the night before Thanksgiving that I'm gonna do it, and I'll see what riff-raff is around. Then I get that last-minute surge of energy. But if I had 2 weeks to plan, sometimes I wish I wasn't doing it. But very seldom does that happen. I'm not a good storyteller. I always think I'm going to get interrupted, or something's going to get edited. I think that comes from being in a large family, so you have to get your story in really quick or someone cuts you off. I have a couple freeloader friends, but it's okay. I know they're gonna come in with their arms flying in the air empty-handed. I always find something to keep me busy. Whenever I do your show, sometimes I get a little check in the mail and then I take that check and buy a new pair of shoes, and then I wear those shoes the next time I do your show. People who shop in health food stores and never look healthy. I wouldn't call myself a shut-in. I have the ability to leave my home, I just choose not to. But because I'm such a homebody, it's important to be surrounded by things I love. When people tell me they are going to go scrapbooking, I say, why don't you make it yourself? It's like chocolate chip cookies. People buy the cookie dough roll and slice it, and then they lay it on a cookie sheet. That's not making chocolate chip cookies. I'm very domestic. I love cleaning. I love cooking. I like waiting on people. I just like to make things. I don't break that down to be weakness, or the only things women can do, or putting me back 20 years. It was more of their quirky show. It was more like a cult show. The ratings weren't really that high. They just expected it to, you know. Paul, Steve, and I could have hired our own publicist, if we wanted to, but I kind of liked the way it was more of a cult thing and those that liked it, you know what I mean? But I always like to play ugly people who think they're pretty. David and Dad didn't get along too well growing up. I mean, we all got along, but it was harder on David, because David wasn't going to be the son that Dad wanted. But now they're like best friends. I failed first grade, which is my biggest problem. You always feel like a failure, like you're stupid. I'm not a first-place person. I'm not ambitious. I live in the moment. I just like to have the ideas. Other people can help see them through. My characters always like themselves. I'd rather have a part where you walk into a room and you leave. That's perfect for me. I have no desire to carry a movie. I swear I want to be a food model. Well, I went to New Orleans to cover the jazz festival for Trio. It's this new arts channel. It's really great. My kitchen's pink, like skin tone pink, and I lowered my spice rack so it's eye level. It's true. And my phone, so I can reach it when I fall, it's right there. I'm gonna do the whole bedroom in camel color. It's an old lady color. But I love how people who are musical, they know how to dress. I stayed in New York City for the first time. I'd always wanted to do that. I hate playing pretty or sane people. Most people are not attractive or all there. I really don't like going out. I don't like restaurants because I don't like the idea of someone, a waitress, being responsible for my evening. I like seconds, and more, and lots of conversation, and I've always hated the idea that in a restaurant an evening just ends. I find that incredibly depressing. More men than women like strangers with candy. Pretty girls don't like the show. They don't like to see an ugly lady. I think it's still kind of weird to memorize a line, because you're supposed to be this person, you know? So then it's like, if I'm really this person, how can I be in the moment if I know there's just one line I'm supposed to say? It doesn't feel natural. I always just kind of want to say whatever comes up. I like to make things, but I looked at old craft books on weaving or mosaics or whatever. I'm like, I don't really know anything about that stuff. Gay guys know how to craft, and they craft really well. Straight guys, forget it. I love costumes. My dream growing up was always to have my own costume and prop shop. I like crafts that come out of poverty or necessity. There used to be hobby shops where you'd get your supplies, and then you'd use your imagination. You think in a different way when you don't have any money. The joy of poverty is that you use your imagination to come up with stuff. I like crafts that are made out of necessity because they're a little naive. You made it because you needed it. I feel so free and open to ideas, and I get inspired by everything. I like working with the public, and I like that it's really hard work. I wasn't a cliquey person, and I think that's because I came from a large family. I got along with everybody, and I usually got along with the people that people didn't like. I always liked my teachers, and I was in a lot of after-school projects. I was a Girl Scout until my senior year, when I couldn't be a Girl Scout anymore. I was in clubs like Junior Achievement, and I ran track and field. My grades were good, but then toward 11th grade they were nothing. I always went to summer school. I always knew I didn't want kids, and I didn't want to get married. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.